Hello and welcome to HAP671 TeachOne presentation on data cleaning in SQL. The course is taught by Dr. Sanja Abramovic of the Department of Healthcare Administration and Policy at the George Mason University. This presentation is prepared and narrated by David Amwako and Ahmed Aminallah. What is data cleaning? Most of the time in healthcare settings, the collected data can be so messy and not structured in a way that helps us to generate useful information. Data cleaning, therefore, is an important process that organizes unstructured data and assists to avoid errors when generating useful information and reports. The process occurs usually before analyzing the data. So, what is the data cleaning process? Now, let's look at the cleaning process. These are sorting, arranging, and presenting. Data can be managed by applying these processes separately or all together. To clean the data, here is an example of the cleaning steps you can take. In the initial setup, you create a new table to store the clean data. Secondly, you use the specific SQL statement or functions in order to clean and to filter for the well-structured data. Lastly, what you do is you select and insert the filtered or clean data into the new table created in the initial step. So these are the common functions to clean the data. These are the group by clause, where clause, having clause, and if clause. This ends the first part of the presentation by David Amwakon. The next set of slides and last part of the presentation will be presented by Ahmed Aminallah. Thank you.
So the first data cleaning statement that we are going to present is group by. It usually groups rows that have the same values into summary rows. For example, if we would like to know the number of patients in specific location, like Fairfax County. The group by statement is often used with aggregate function, like count, max, min, summation, or average, in order to group the result set by one or more columns. The group by clause groups records in summary rows. It retains one record for each group. Here an example of group by statement in SQL Server. Referring to our database HAP671, we have grouped the patient ID according to their gender. The second data cleaning clause that we are going to present is where clause. It's used to specify a condition while fetching the data from a single table or joining with multiple tables. We use where clause to filter the results from a select, insert, update, or delete statement. As you can see from the SQL query example, we utilized where clause in HAP671 database in order to select a couple of columns by filtering the patient ID for males only. Next is having clause. It's often used with group by clause in the select statement to filter group of rows based on specific condition. Having clause is like where clause. However, where clause applies to individual records only. Having clause requires that a group by clause is present. We can use both where and having clause in the same query at the same time. An example of having clause from our HAP671 database. The last function that we are going to present is if function. It's a Boolean expression function. It accepts 3 arguments, evaluates the first argument, and returns the second argument if the first is true. Otherwise, it retains the third argument. Following is an example of if function that we have used in order to binarize the data. Data cleaning and removing duplicates. As David mentioned before, the healthcare setting has a lot of duplicate data, and we can remove this duplication by using a couple of statements or functions in SQL Server. For example, in this query, we have used distinct ID and where is not null in order to generate a unique ICD-9 code. Removing null fields is one of the most important processes in data cleaning. On this example, we have the column age at this with null fields. Let's see how we can clean it. We use the following query in order to clean the nulls. We utilized where plus is not statement in order to clean the nulls. And that's all from our side. I hope you enjoyed the presentation and it was helpful. Thank you.